Welcome back to my journey of trying to learn Hindi. I'm going to call this week 13, even though it's been a few weeks since my last video. The summer just ended up being a lot more busy and chaotic than I thought it would be, so I was not able to do my weekly learning the way that I thought I would. I don't really teach over the summer. I don't teach over the summer, at least not this summer, so I thought I'd have lots of time and would be able to fit into a schedule. That does not seem to be the case. The summer filled with lots of other things. But the other side of it was that I wanted to gain confidence in something that was kind of seemed to be missing in my learning of Hindi. As I got away from simple numbers and, simple words and greetings and so on, it became a little bit more difficult to transcribe the videos. This became something that I only as things moved along did I realize that this is something that I was missing. So what I mean by this is transcribing. I need to have a visual on the actual words that I'm trying to learn, not just a translation into English, but a transcription where I can actually see in the Roman script exactly the letters that I am speaking. Because my ear doesn't have, I don't have an ear for it. If I were to say to you, namaste, you'd probably be able to write down the word namaste. But if I said "Aap kaise hain, angreze bolte hain," you wouldn't. Your ear doesn't have the ability to write down all of those letters, at least not without some effort. So I was spending a lot of effort trying to transcribe these videos. It was kind of bringing me down, mostly because I wasn't sure if I was transcribing them correctly, and it turns out I probably wasn't at all. And although so the way that I'm learning Hindi is I find YouTube videos of people who are speaking mostly in Hindi. Oftentimes there will be some English words in there, English sentences interspersed, but mostly Hindi. And oftentimes these will come with a translation directly into English. But you see, the problem is I need the transcription of what I'm actually saying. So what I decided to do was to find somebody to transcribe videos for me. And I went onto Fiverr at the end of the day to do this because I wanted to have it be, sort of a business transaction. I didn't want to bother. I do know some people who speak Hindi actually and would maybe happily do this for me, but I also wanted to have it to be a business transaction, so I'd be able to reliably ask a person to meet a deadline or so on. So I went on to Fiverr and I found it took me a little while to find somebody because I think that what I'm asking people to do is not completely clear. I don't know if I wasn't explaining it well. It's not a typical simple translation. I want the transcription. So I finally found a few people who would do the transcription and did kind of understand what I was looking for. And then I found one woman in particular who was able to do it for me for a price that I wanted to pay, or that I was willing to pay. So that worked out great. So I sent her this YouTube video. I told her the time period of what I wanted transcribed, and then she sent back like the next day a wonderful like with the time what is the word for it, the time stamps and exactly who was speaking, and what she ended up doing was transcribing into the Nagari script, not into the Roman script. So when I first saw this, my heart sank. I thought, oh dear, starting over. And then I realized, let me just copy and paste the Nagari script into Google Translate. And sure enough, Google Translate allows you to see the Nagari and the transcription into Roman script and the translation into English. It was perfect. So I'm very, very pleased with this. And I got quite a lot of material. In fact, I'm going to be breaking this up into at least 2 videos. So what happens in this video, it's a woman named Manisha Malik. She actually has a channel on YouTube where it seems to be the central part of what she does is she shops. She shops around different places in India. Shopping in and of itself is not particularly interesting to me, but what I like about her channel is that she talks to the shopkeepers. She oftentimes goes places where there's some history. Maybe the business has been in the family. Maybe there's a particular craft that's a little bit unusual. And so through something that I'm not particularly fond of, shopping, you end up learning about the family or about the craft, history. It's actually really cool. So I'm glad that I didn't just shut her off right away and I started watching. Even though it didn't seem to be my bag at first, I really liked her. I like her personality a lot. kind of that spunky, independent, sassy Indian woman traveling around safely. And yeah, she seems to be doing this work pretty much on her own. All right, so in this video, Manisha is in a shop in Varanasi, in Benares, the holy city of Varanasi, where I have traveled to. She found a factory where they are making authentically created saris. I saw saris in the street. I had some students who purchased saris, and the ones that we saw cost about $20 to $30 maybe. I'm actually not sure exactly how much they cost. I didn't buy one. But there are saris that cost a lot more than that, like $120, and it turns out that that's a pretty good sign that they are actual silk saris and not made from some kind of manufacturing byproduct or plastic kind of material. So that is the concept that she is exploring in this video. So she's talking to this shopkeeper at this shop where they have this, I'll link the video below. They're doing looming of the silks. Really cool, very beautiful saris. ये silk है, pure silk इसको बोलते हैं. ये 100% नकीली है. अच्छा, तो बताया कैसे पहचानम असली या नकली में फर्क. ये जो है हैंड वीविंग होते हैं, और ये मशीन से होते हैं. ये दोनों फर्क है इसमें. और दूसरा इसके ये जो धागा होते हैं, ये पूरा silk होते हैं. And then he hands her the threads so that she can feel them herself. देखिए इसमें जो होते हैं, ये total artificial होते हैं. इसमें silk का कुछ भी 1% भी नहीं होते हैं. See you next week, hopefully.